Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 15 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead! Behind the screen, Harper got a piece of it, it comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out, Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle at the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 of the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh!
Toward Bryant. You will glove it to Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs in the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. Something just came up in my head real quick. Happy Hump Day, baby. Listen, I am fired up. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and I'm having a phenomenal day. Mike. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Hey, listen, if you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. We hadn't switched it over. That's what I didn't do yesterday. I'll go to Sports Zone Chicago's YouTube page, and I'll go to Shawn and Maya's YouTube page, and I'll switch that over to ShawnSierraSports. I'll do that today. We'll get that done today. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, excellent. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. No. Uh-oh. Listen, we got a great show for you, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or YouTube channel, if you have a question or comment on that platform, it'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on a screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you, baby. So bring them all. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, don't sing it, just bring it. Let's check the chat out, because we got some people jumping in early. My man Armando Emeterio Lara Jr., he's checking in early. He's like, good morning, y'all. Cornelius Squalls in the house said, what up? ShawnSierraSports fans, this guy should never have traded Kennedy Carter. I agree, but there was just too much favoritism. There was a lot of – that was a bad move for them to trade her. I was a big fan of hers. Big fan of Kennedy Carter. Yes. Michelle Wells, what up? It's like, yo, on a hump day. Go Sox. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Levette Lee checking in. Happy hump day, y'all. Happy hump day, man. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. My man Jay Grizz checking in. It's like, what up? Jay Grizz in the Mickey Picky. Hell yeah. See here. Here's where you're screwed up, bro. Boss, come on. You, Junior, Cornelius, Levette, you're screwed up. See, you're doing this. Levette's doing this. All right, Junior's doing this. Cornelius is doing this. Come on with your nonsense. Finally, someone wise at Sports Zone Chicago had to lay the smackdown on their candy asses. Couple pubs. I don't care if you got the best record in the National League. You still suck. I don't care. Oh yeah, that's right, Jay Grizz. You're out there, baby. You're out in Philly. Were you able to go to any of the games? Since your boys are in town. Let's see. Yeah, listen, we got a great show. We got a lot to talk, man. Jay Grizz, let me know, man, if you are going to be able to catch one of the Cub Philly games, or if you already went. I know they got a 3-game set. Was it a 4-game set? Oh, a 3-game set, and then they got the 4-game set with Pittsburgh starting tomorrow. That's right. Oh, that's right. You're in Tampa with the G folks for the little kids, for the kiddos. Let's see, with grandparents. That's right. Catch a game in Tampa. Who's down in Tampa? A Rays home? Bump it. Go check out another stadium. Have you been to the stadium in Tampa? I'm sure your kids' grandparents have been there for a minute, so they've been there before. So have you been to a game at Tampa? But dude, that's a great spot, man. That's probably nice and warm as hell down there. Let me see. Dude, that's dope. Get this insert out of the paper. So I was really upset last week. I missed the Blues Fest. I just couldn't make it. That really stunk. You know, I love the Blues Fest, man. I really, 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 really do. And I hadn't made it. Just a local. All right. Jay Grizz gonna be a hot one today. Said I've been to Raymond James. Okay, for the Bucks. People that live in Tampa don't even go to Tampa Rays games. Been to the Philly spring training in Clearwater. Have you been to the Yankees? They're in Tampa. The Yankees, Legends Field. I was actually down there. Down in Ybor. Well, I went to Ybor City as well. So yeah, I've been down to Tampa. But good stuff, man. Good stuff. Get some vitamin D, get some, get a little darker. Good stuff. But yeah, man, we got a lot to talk, man. The Cubs, Sox. Some Bulls, no, not Bulls. We got some Bears to talk, some Sky to talk. No, I haven't been to Yankee spring training yet. It's nice. Legends Field's pretty dope. Pretty dope. Oh, that was Rick Gonzalez, says people. I thought that was Jay Grizz. Rick, you're a fool. People that live in Tampa don't even go to Rays games. King Book of World, what's up, Papa? How are you? He's checking in. Salute everyone. And Shawn, what's up, Papa? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. My peoples are in. They rolling. They got my 6 today, like they do every day. I love it. I love it. And we got a great show. We got baseball to talk. We have basketball to talk, the NBA Finals. All right, we got and the Sky. Let's not forget the Sky. We have them to talk. We got football to talk. Bears just got done with mandatory mini camp, and a lot of people, or I should say, a decent number of people who are not required to stay because the rookies are doing more work at Hallis Hall. A lot of people are staying. All right. Many of them are end of the roster guys, but also Caleb is there. Which, again, after he finally spoke, I gained a lot more respect for him because he said he didn't want to be here. All right, we get it. All right, we get it. Quarterback situations suck. They haven't developed a quarterback since 80 years ago. So I get it. I understand. But when he finally said, you know what, I'm gonna be the guy to change that, my respect for him grew immensely. It grew immensely. And, he's being coached hard. He's being coached tough. Ben Johnson, is not babying him at all, which I love. Figure some shit out, man. You got, one time he asked after the play clock was down, they weren't allowed, he wasn't audible in his helmet. He was going to come to the sideline, and Ben Johnson's like, get back out there, stay out there, figure it out. It's kind of tough love that he needs, and I like it. All right, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm so looking forward to that. So we got football to talk. But let me get you the lineup today, man. I'm fired up. At 9:30, my man Emilio Bucks is going to come out. We're going to talk baseball. You ain't lying, King. Last time a quarterback was developed, they were taking horses to the game. They just had one long, looked like a yoga bar. They just they tied the horses to the bar. That was it. It's been that long. Oh, man. But 9:30, Emilio Bucks is going to come on. He's the host of the Plunked podcast and the Bullspit podcast. We're going to talk a little baseball. We're going to talk a little Sox, talk a little Cubs. Get into it. All right, then at 10 o'clock, my man Glynn Morgan, Bears draft analyst, is going to join us. We're going to talk Bears. I want to see what his thought. What did he want to see out of minicamp? What were some of his takeaways that he wanted to have addressed? I have mine. I asked Glenn. I sent him stuff last night. And, oh, no way. Emilio's your son's name. Dude, that's dope. Emilio Grizz. Emilio Grizz. E.G. Dude, that's dope. Good stuff. So 9:30, we have Emilio Bucks. You're a damn fool. Emilio Bucks sounds a Grand Theft Auto pimp name. It does sound like a pimp name, though. Emilio Bucks. At 9:30, we have Emilio Bucks coming out talking baseball with your boy. And at 10 o'clock, Glynn Morgan, we're going to be talking football. All right. But, guys, you know how we do. We got to get it cracking early. First segment of every show. It's called Top of the Morning.
She won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
See, the first top of the morning topic, which way do we go? Which way do we go? We're starting here, baby. This is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Baby, the good guys. The White Sox beats the Astros, excuse me. They beat them yesterday. Let me tell you something. That was one heck of – I was fired up. Oh, Steve, you got to change that, Papa. Got to change that one. Beat it 4-2 yesterday. They doubled them up yesterday down in H-Town. 4-2. It was a great game. All right, Shane Smith, he got the win. He's 3-3 on the season. He went 6 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 4 Ks. This guy has given up 3 earned runs or less in his first, 12 starts, I think they said? First time, and it's crazy. This dude is the real deal. He's a Rule 5 draft. He's a Rule 5 guy that we picked up. And when Chris Guest was asked about him, Steve Stone was saying, he said he's a different pitcher. You're at Rule 5 for a reason. People don't want you. They left you unprotected. All right. He added a changeup to his repertoire. And, man, that pitch is really, really, really working for him. And I'll tell you what, this dude is – when I saw him pitch, spring training, I'm like, whoa. Then my friend – I think I told you the story. So one of my best friends in college, her name's Pam, lives in Walden, Massachusetts. And her son and Shane Smith grew up playing baseball together. She gave me a call like, oh, you got one of our guys on your White Sox. And she told me, and I've been watching them ever since. Like, holy cow. Very impressed with him. Very impressed. All right. Sox have won 4 out of the last 5 games. And I'll tell you what. it's great to see. It's great to see. I'm not expecting a playoff berth. I'm not expecting a World Series by any stretch. What I want to see and I'm seeing is improvement. That's what I want to see and I'm seeing. And if you're a Sox fan, that's all you can ask for. You got young guys who are coming up making a statement. Just yesterday. All right, Grant Taylor, fireballer from LSU. He went from double to the big, skipped AAA, came in with a nice 1-2-3 inning, 101 mile an hour on his first pitch. He threw 12 pitches. He had 6 of his pitches, and he's going to be a starter, but they're working him in, I think, the right way. Remember, they did this a lot. They did this with Chris Sale, with Garrett Crochet, even with who's the guy from Boston, the guy we got with Yo-Yo and the Chris Sale deal. I can't think of it. Anyway, bringing him in out of the bullpen, giving him an inning. Okay, you could tell he was fired up. He was fired up. He was anxious. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, you're coming to the show. That's what you've been working on for the kids, 22, 23 years old? 10, 12 years, 15 years? This is what you've worked for? It's very easy to see how people could have to kind of monitor their own breathing. All right? This is it. You've gotten to the show. Okay, he came out, like I said, 12 pitches. 6 of them were 100 miles an hour or more, and 10 of them were for strikes. So I'll tell you what, you want to come in and you want to start throwing heat and you start throwing strikes, that's what we're talking about. Bust people inside, keep them low, do a slider, I think, just to show you what he's got. This kid is really, really, really special. And it seems like the White Sox are doing a really good job of now they're getting all they always had great pitching staffs back with Don Cooper and they were able to scout and draft and develop pitchers. The position players were but now they're kind of doing the whole thing better. They have a nice little pitching staff. They have some nice youngsters. Chase Mydroff. Again, he's not going to be a Hall of Famer. He's not going to be a perennial all-star. Well, he could be an all-star, but he's not going to be a Hall of Famer. But he's a hell of a player, hell of a baseball player. All right, you got Vargas, the catching position they got. And remember, Corey Lee was a highly touted prospect at catcher, and he still is. But they got 2 other ones that just kind of leapfrogged him and sent Corey Lee back down to the minors. They're good at that position. Don't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Corey Lee is trade bait. I wish him well if he is. But man, Edgar Carroll, Tim Elko. And Tim Elko's shown some pop. So they're starting to develop some players. Now we need some outfielders. That's what I'd give me some outfielders. All right. Staying with the White Sox. The White Sox play at Houston again tonight. First pitch is at 7:20 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on Chicago Sportsnet or listen to it on our flagship station, ESPN 1000. The probables for tonight's game for the White Sox. The good guys tried out Sean Burke on the bump. He's 3-6 with a 4.03 ERA going up against Ryan Gusto for H-Town. He's 3-3 with a 4.78 ERA. The Cubs. Yesterday, nice. Cubs beat the Phillies yesterday, 8-4. Colin Ray, he got the start. He got a no decision. 4 1/3, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 5 punch-outs. Ian Happ, have a game, young man. Have a day. 2 for 3 yesterday, 2 home runs, his 6th and 7th of the season, driving in his 27th, 28th, and 29th runs of the season. Dansby Swanson, 2 for 4 with a homer, his 12th, driving in his 12th RBI of the season. McGuire was 2 for 4, also with a double, driving in his 4th RBI of the season. I'll tell you what, Cubbies it's a nice bounce back win. Nice bounce back win. And I was giving my guy Junior and Mondo some shit on Monday when they lost. I sent them the L flag because what's funny is, so Junior will send me a picture of, he'll send me the W flag every time they win. We're on a little group thread. And I give him the old emojis, right? So when they lost, I sent him the L flag, and I'll put a White Sox winner. And yesterday he was quick. He was so mad. He was quick. As soon as the Cubs won, as soon as I got on ESPN, the alert, here comes Junior with the W flag. Oh, that's crazy. But the Cubs, they're still in Philly today. They're wrapping up the series, going for the series win this afternoon. First pitch is at 12:05 Central. You can catch that game on the Marquee Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 6:70 a.m. Probables for today's game for the Cubs. The Northsiders trot out Ben Brown. He's 3-4 with a 5.37 ERA, going up against Jesus Luzardo. Jesus Luzardo, who's 5-2 with a 4.46 ERA. Next top of the morning topic. Man, this was a rough one. Sky. Oof. Sky fell to the reigning WNBA champs, the New York Liberty, 85-66. Angel Reese led the way with a double-double, 17 points, 11 rebounds. Ariel Atkins, 11 points. King Booker World, your future ex-wife, Camila Cardoso, only 8 points, 9 rebounds. 9 rebounds are good. I need a few more points from her in the paint. The Liberty 9-0. They do not look like they are ready to relinquish that title by any stretch. No championship hangover for this squad at all. You win the WNBA title and then you come out 9-0 to start. Jesus Christ. That is crazy. Oh, one of the things that I forgot, and I got to mention it. Staying with this guy, Allie Quigley, who last played in the WNBA in 2022, has officially retired. She called it an Irish goodbye. For those of you who don't, I grew up with a lot of Irish guys, so trust me. And an Irish goodbye is when you just leave the party. Leave the party without saying anything. My guy, Tim Quinn, big shout out to Tim Quinn and the Quinn family. His dad was my grammar school coach, one of my 2 grammar school coaches, him and Mr. Schaller. God rest their souls. But Tim Quinn, good old Irishman, he is notorious for the Irish goodbye. Notorious. He don't care. He don't care. When he's got to go, he's got to go. And he just leaves and walks. I've seen him at a party, he's talking to somebody, like, excuse me, puts his drink on the bar, walks out. Gotta go. Dude, that's insane. But she retired. Quigley grew up in Joliet. She played for the Sky from 2013 to 2022. 3-time All-Star. She's a member of the championship team in 21. And she was the leading scorer until her wife, Vanderstut, who just tore her ACL, broke her record last month. So she retired. And her jersey might be going up too. Joliet native, local product. Yeah. And last thing about the Sky. There's a lot of flack, but Angel Reese, Sky forward Angel Reese, won the BET Awards Sportswoman of the Year award for the 3rd consecutive year. There are a lot of people who had issue with this. A lot of people had issue with this. It's interesting. Like, does she deserve it? Maybe not. You could have given it to someone else, I guess, but you know, the part of this is that, like, here's the bottom line. Like, nope. Trying to do something real quick. There's a lot of people hating. A lot of people hating on her. Whoa. Sorry about that. What the heck? Oh, I know what the problem was. There you go. A lot of people are hating on it. It's a shame we got to hate on our own people. You know what I mean? Like, come on. I get it. She's a polarizing figure. All right. She's a little bit of a wild child. But these are some look at this. And nobody's saying Angel don't have accomplishments. Oh, you can't even see it. Clarissa Shields. A couple things. So just people hating. Like, stop the hating. Again, I get it. She might not be your cup of tea. Cool. But to go on social media and be like, I should have won it, or why is she winning it? Come on, man. Stop being some hating ass 304. Stop it. Stop it. So it's just a shame. You know. But the Bears. Next time, on the top of the Bears had mostly young players at Hallis Hall. However, Kayla was one of a few veterans who remained at the facility, while most of the vets had left. Great stuff. He's got a playbook to learn. Okay, I think he's really enjoying this hard coaching and all the expectation that Johnson is putting on him. I think he's really enjoying it. I think he's enjoying his interaction with Coach Ben Johnson, and I couldn't be happier. Jay Chris. Yeah, my Irish folks always leave the bar without saying goodbye to me too, SuperBack. Oh, man. That's funny. That is funny. That's true. And then the last top of the morning talk before we go to break, NBA Finals, Game 3 tonight. OKC are at the Indiana Pacers. And I'll tell you what. First off, tip-off is today at 7:30. You can catch that game on ABC. The series is tied 1 game apiece. All right. It's going to be interesting because the bench usually doesn't travel very well on the road. Indiana got a great performance in Game 1. Not just from Halliburton, from their bench. They just kept it close. So is OKC, are they going to be that same type of intensity over to Indiana? I don't know. I wouldn't bet against it because you got people like Alex Caruso who live and die off, and he's undrafted. He's made his rounds throughout the league, and he's brought defense first to every place. LA would never have won that title without him. He's got it locked in, and I think so does the rest of the OKC Thunder. But listen, we're going to take a quick break, and on the other side of the break, we're going to welcome my man Emilio Bucks. All right? We're going to talk a little baseball, mostly Sox, a little Cubs, because the Cubs still suck. Even though they have the best record in the National League, I don't care. They still suck. Oh, man. I'm just messing with you Cub fans. So don't go away, folks. Emilio Bucks up next. Keep it locked right here. ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago.
Operator 901, where's the emergency?
127 Brymere.
Okay, what's going on there?
I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Ma'am, you've reached 911. This is an emergency line.
Large with half pepperoni, half mushroom.
You know you've called 911. This is an emergency line.
Do you know how long it'll be?
Okay, ma'am, is everything okay over there? Do you have an emergency or not?
Yes.
And you're unable to talk because...
Right.
Is there someone in the room with you? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, It looks like I have an officer about a mile from your location. Are there any weapons in your house?
No.
Can you stay on the phone with me?
No. See you soon. Thank you.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe. But some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
Do you know that you're in my lane? No, not at all. Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time. Just pay attention. I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's just supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
To be more athletic at the plate. This one lined to right field, and that one's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Kyle Teal, he's got the windmill on. He's going to score all the way from first. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Breaking ball, that's laced into left field. Talkman scores. My drop is waved in. He will come across. Robert Jr. high in the air, deep, it goes to left. It is gone. Luis Robert Jr., the return of La Pantera.
Into the Houston night for a solo home run.
On the ground, off the mound, Rojas hustles to the back at second, and a double play turned. Second double play turned by this infield.
Welcome back to ShawnSierraSports. Those clips courtesy of Chicago Sportsnet. Those are the good guys on the south side. Actually, they're in the southwest side. Yeah, baby, in the southwest. In the H-Town. Open up a can of whoop ass on them Astros. I will never forgive them for what they did. Ever. In my ever. Never. Bump them. Anyway. My first guest, I'm excited to have him on. We're going to talk a little baseball. He's a host of the Plunk podcast. He also co-host of the Bullspit podcast as well. So he's very versatile. You can find him on Twitter at ebuck75. Guys, welcome back to Shawn and Maya. I'm sorry, ShawnSierraSports. I keep slipping. It's crazy. ShawnSierraSports, my man, Emilio Bucks. Emilio, what's up?
Yo, what's going on, brother?
Man, I was at the game last Friday, Mexican Heritage Night.
I saw your pictures.
Man, let me tell you, everybody saw in the tri-state area from Indiana, Chicago, Wisconsin was at that God-blessed game, dude.
I heard it was standing room only out there.
Dude, it was packed. I got there at 4:00. The game was at 6:40, and they had the Mexican jerseys they were passing out. Bro, when I got there at 4:00 for the tailgate, we were right by that little outside of gate 2.
Mm-hmm.
That line to get in was easily 60 yards long.
Wow. Well, that's good to see. Our boys
It
need
was.
some
I knew.
support.
At that point, I know. I'm like, damn, I ain't getting one of them jerseys.
Right.
I'm like, I'll be drinking and smoking over there. I brought 3 cigars too. I'm like, yeah, I ain't gonna be getting that jersey.
Hey man, well, it's good to see people turning out to watch some White Sox baseball after a miserable year last year and some misery this year, but playing much
even though
better.
you say that, the misery is, I think it's kind of screeched to a halt. All right,
Yeah,
you
we're
got a
not
lot of
miserable.
youngsters, man.
We got some youngsters, some scrappy kids that aren't carrying the weight of that disappointing rebuild from a few years ago, and that are just playing free and having fun out there and playing some competitive baseball, man. Far more than anybody did last year.
Exactly, and the thing is that they're all having fun. Someone posted in the chat. It says something like, "Bring back the old slogan. These kids can play," because these kids. Hey, every just like fashion, everything comes around. Just give it time.
It does, and we have been here waiting.
Man, ain't that the truth?
Yes,
ain't
it is.
That the truth. I'm trying to find that. Oh well, never mind. But anyway, yeah, these kids, man, I'm telling you, I love it. And here we go. Shawn says the Sox are bringing back the slogan. These kids can play, but not only are they. Remember, they always used to be able to do well with pitching prospects.
Always developing pitchers.
Yeah, that was a good thing with their old pitching coach, Don Cooper. But now they got some position players. You got Miguel Vargas. The catching position is real strong.
Yeah.
Edgar Cuero. And I said it before. I said they both leapfrogged Corey Lee, and Corey Lee was a hot prospect.
And Corey Lee was a good prospect. Yeah,
and he still is.
Absolutely. So we got a good problem there at the catching position.
Yes, I love it, and not to mention, the pitcher they brought up yesterday, Fireball, Grant Taylor.
Yep, making his debut. Had a shutout inning and
nice clean
got down 3 in a row. Love to see that, man.
This is really fun. I might go to a couple more games now. I really might.
Well, we still got to catch one.
Yeah. Oh, in honor of you, I brought my flask in.
You know it, as you should, my brother, as you should.
So I had the new jersey on, and I had the new City Connect jersey.
That's right.
Dude,
that's right.
Dude, that was tight. Oh, that was fresh, boy. I was like, ooh, Charlie. And then they won too. Ooh, wait, I don't remember the last time I was at a Sox game when they won. Like, what's all this about?
Seriously. It's been a while, man.
So talk to me a little bit about this. I mean, the Sox have won 4 of the last 5 games. All right, believe me, I'm not putting them in the World Series. I'm not even putting them in the playoffs. All I'm saying is that these guys are exciting and they're fun to watch because they play fundamentally sound baseball. They will bunt. And I couldn't even tell you, the hair on my arm stood up when they bunted in situations to manufacture a run.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about what Will Venables is doing with these guys and how he's getting them to buy in and keeping them so scrappy, because you got to play all 20. You got to get all 27 outs for them, because they don't give a damn if there's 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. They will still believe they're alive and they're still kicking and scratching. What is Will Venables doing? What is he feeding these guys to have them believe that they can?
I think what Will has done, I know he's got some magic sauce in that clubhouse, but he has gotten these kids to buy in to playing fundamentally sound baseball. He's gotten these kids to believe that they have a chance to win each and every game that they play. Not to say that they're going to win each and every game. Nobody's going to win each and every game, but they go in with a believing that they have a chance to play, and they never lose that hope throughout 9 innings. Going into that 9th inning, they still feel like there's a chance that we can win this game. If they're not winning it, they feel like they can score runs late in games, which they've been able to do this year. Remember last year, man, when they were losing after the 6th inning, they were 0-75 last year. So, like, I mean, abysmal, man. You know what I mean? And this year, it's been a different story. They've been able to score some runs late. They've had opportunities where they've been able to hold teams with a 1-run lead. Yeah, man. So really, it's Will is creating a culture that has been lacking since before Tony got here. I almost
Korea.
will. Yeah. So
Because those boys,
yeah,
they didn't give up either, boy. They didn't give up either. TA,
exactly.
Yo-Yo, Elo,
Yeah.
like,
And so you haven't seen this scrappy style of play since like 2020, 2021.
Yep.
And I'm enjoying it. The fans are enjoying it, and most importantly, you see the players are enjoying this process.
I think
And that's what
that's
it's
the
about.
most important thing, Emilio, and that's you hit it right on the head. The players are enjoying it because
Absolutely.
how fun is it? We've all played sports. When you go to, they're going to work, but you're winning, or you're believing you have a chance to win. It's like, man, they can't wait to get to the ballpark.
Absolutely, because they know they believe in their heart of hearts that we can win this game today, no matter who they're going against. We can win this game, and they put up great fights almost every night.
I couldn't agree more, and I'm really loving the youthful exuberance that they have, the youthful energy that they have. It's really, really refreshing to see. And I'm telling you, I was out to see. I'm like, you know what? You're not putting a winning product out there, bump you and my money. But man, what these kids are doing is really got
Fun to watch, Shawn. It's fun to watch.
So what are we look? Let's look at some of the players. We talked about Grant Taylor, youngster. He went right from double to the bigs. He leaped over AAA. Like I don't need AAA. Right. My car's fine. I don't need AAA. Damn it.
That's right. That's right.
Dude, he had 12 pitches yesterday in that inning. Get out of the inning. 6 of them were for 100 miles an hour or more, and 10 of those 12 were strikes. 10 of those 12 were strikes. And talk to me about how important it is for a guy. And you saw him kind of managing his breathing because he was a little fired up. Mm-hmm. Understandable.
Absolutely.
I said, you've been working at this for the last 15 years?
Absolutely.
You've been 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. You've been trying to get to this point. I understand you get a little fired up. His first pitch was 101. But how important is it that this guy coming in and throwing 101 is throwing strikes?
I think, Shawn, that's the most important thing, especially against a lineup like Houston, because these guys can sneak up on you. You can't try throwing around those guys. You got to get in there, especially late in games. You got to get in there and throw strikes. The most important thing is you can't give up walks late in the game because that's like handing runs over. And we saw when I'm not sure who it was that came in after Grant Taylor gave up a walk, and that walk ended up scoring. So we see how important it is to not give up walks, throw strikes, going at hitters is what's most important, especially for a young pitcher. Because young pitcher, you're all hyped up. You can't worry about having too much finesse and going around and getting hitters reaching for unhittable pitches. It's just not going to happen, especially with a season lineup like Houston. So throwing strikes is the key, and he threw them.
Our old Uncle Hawk Harrison used to say the best pitch in baseball is a well-placed fastball.
Absolutely.
And if you get some movement on it,
you can paint the corners or a fastball upstairs, get him swinging. Absolutely.
And that's what this kid is doing. He's attacking. He's pounding the strike zone. All right, 10 out of 12. That's a hell of a percentage, man.
Absolutely, man.
Hell of a
Absolutely.
Percentage. And I know it's small.
He was going after him. He was going after him.
And that's the thing that gets me fired up. Like I don't give a damn who the hell you are. You know what I mean? Like I'm a competitor too.
That's right.
I know you're all the World Series champion at a couple years ago and All-Star. I don't give a shit. I'm coming at you. That's the type of attitude that got me fired up watching this kid. All right, come at these dudes. And he as long as he keeps that same mentality, man, he's gonna have some success because sports, the talent differential between players is not very great. Majority of it is up here.
Absolutely.
Right? Can you think? Can you think in the heat of the moment? Baseball is very cerebral, right? He worked out. He tried to get me. He got me out with a high fastball last time. He probably didn't go to the same thing. You got to understand the pitching sequence and just where film work comes in. watching pitchers. All right, when you got a guy who's coming at you, like, man, I enjoy it. I love it. I'm glad that this youngster, I'm telling you, he got me fired up watching it. It reminded me of Kopech. When Kopech first came up.
A young Kopech. That's exactly who I was thinking when he came and throwing that gas.
Man, his first strikeout I remember I went that game just to see Kopech. When he came up and when Yo-Yo came up, when Kopech came up, the guy, his first strikeout was fastball. I think it was a slider. He pulled a string on him on his third pitch on that third strike, and that dude was way out in front. I think he even took a knee as a swing. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm happy about that. I'm liking that. I'm loving this. Where can this team go this year?
Well, I don't think it's realistic to think about this team going too far or making the playoffs this year. But what we're doing is just developing players. We're priming players up. And, when we get loaded at a certain position, we're creating tradable assets at the same time. Corey Lee, for example, because we are going to need some veterans. I would say if they're trying to actually win some games next year, I think you're going to have to go out and spend a little money. There's always trade pieces that we can offer. This year, to me, it's still about developing players.
Okay.
It's instilling a culture, a positive attitude. We got rid of some guys who didn't have the attitude. We got rid of some. We sat down. We sent Yo-Yo away. Tim Anderson, unfortunately, that was my boy. Tim Anderson, not even in the league right now. We sent Andrew Vaughn down to AAA because he's somebody who's supposed to be a veteran on his team, and he's not producing. Word has it he spent more time on his golf swing over the off season than he did training, and it shows. It's showing. So you got to cut that dead weight, get the right attitude in there, and if you're not on board with what Will Venable's doing, then you got to get the hell out of here. And I think that's what we're instilling. That's the foundation that's being built. You got to build that culture of competing and that culture of playing sound baseball. Look, the Sox turned 3 double plays last night in one game. Man, they barely turned 3 double plays all of last season. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man. Like they just could not get the ball into the infield. Could not do the simple things last year that you've seen them do this year that are keeping them in the game this year. That's giving them that shot at winning each and every day.
The thing I love about it is the fundamentals. Because again, I'm gonna quote my guy JJ Wright, one of my coaching colleagues. He said, "If you take care of the little things, there are no big things."
Absolutely.
And little things, bunting, got runners
bunting,
running on first and second. You place that bunt right to the third baseman, to the third baseman. Perfect, and they did it. Perfect execution.
Fundamentals.
I mean, now you got runners in first and second, 2 guys in scoring position. A base hit brings in 2, a wild pitch brings in 1. And you put yourself in that position. Miguel Caro hitting opposite, going oppo. All right, base hit yesterday.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. Get guy. When they pitch you away, go opposite. You don't got to pull everything. Get them on, get them over, get them in. That's the bottom line. It sounds simple, and it is simple. But people they're so worried about the long ball, they're so worried about this. That'll come. Worry about getting when you know, and that's what I said at the beginning of the season. The way the Sox got to win, they're not that talented. They ain't got a bunch of boppers who'll hit 35 home runs.
Right.
All right, we don't got those guys.
Right.
We might, but not this year.
But they're not there yet.
They might develop into those guys, but they're not there this year. We got to win. We got to know how to say, okay, it's going to be a close one. We can win 3-2. We can win 2-1. We can win 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
We can get, we can do that in 9 because once you get to the extras, everyone's on second. It's tough. But in 9, we can manufacture one, and that's what they're doing.
That's what
The
they're doing.
best part about it is having fun. And where do you see Will Venables? Will Venable, the guy to take us all, the guy who could develop them and take this team to a championship, or is he?
Hey man, Right now, I say, give him a shot. It's hard to say because he doesn't have a pedigree. He doesn't have experience. He doesn't have playoff experience. So it's hard to say right now whether he's the guy that could take us all the way. But I don't think you think about pulling him. I don't think you even think of him as an A to B guy right now. You think of him as a guy who's creating a culture of sound fundamental baseball. And any team that wins, any team that's worth their salt plays sound fundamental baseball. And so I think you got to give Will a shot. Will has coached his ass off so far in this short season, and I don't even want to think about the next skipper right now because I mean we saw what happened last time. We got a guy that changed the attitude and created a winning culture, and then he was the A to B guy, and then we saw what the B guy did. With the team. So I mean, I hope that they don't make the same mistake. Stick with Will as long as you need to. He's the guy that's gonna help you rebuild this team into a contender. I truly believe he's gonna build them into a contender.
I do too. It seems like he's not he's kind of a no nonsense guy. Like he'll have fun, but when it's time to work, it's time to work. I know bullshit, and I like that. And you know what? And I think the players do too. Well, you know what? No, I think players like that. It's cool to have fun.
Players want to be coached.
Yes, crazy idea, huh? Crazy idea.
Insane.
They want to be coached. They want to be coached hard. Like, hey, when I screw up, get on my ass.
Absolutely.
Get on my ass. I have no problem. You get on my ass as long as you chew his ass out the same way you chewed me out or worse.
Absolutely.
And then, hey, I got mad respect, and I think that's what he does. Is everyone gets it?
That's a great point. He's got the players' respect.
Yes.
And I think that is hugely important. He's got their respect, and the last two guys did not have the players' respect.
So I like this team, and I think this is kind of like a redshirt year. But you got everybody up here getting accustomed to the speed, getting accustomed to the pitchers, getting accustomed to our division rivals.
Absolutely.
All right, so next year,
we're one of the toughest divisions in this league right now.
Detroit got the best record in baseball.
Yeah.
And we split with them.
In Kansas City ain't no slouch, and we took a couple from them, and in Minnesota and Cleveland are always lurking, man. So, hey, man, and before I got to give a big shout out to my boy Miguel Vargas. I mean, what a story.
Yeah.
I mean, guy looking like he didn't even belong on the baseball team for the first month and a half of the season is really turning it around. He's who we got in that Kopech trade, which was looking catastrophic for a while.
Yeah.
But it's looking like this trade might be holding up. And so big shout out to him.
That's what it takes, Emilio. Sometimes it's what it takes, and a change of scenery, and it could start off. And this is why we preach patience to fans, and fans like, nah. And I get it, White Sox fans. We had a great core a couple years ago with Yo-Yo, Eloy, and Lubob, and TA, and all those guys. Yeah. And we had a great core, and the Tony La Russa move screwed it all up.
Screwed it all up. I still stick by that. That screwed it all up.
Yeah, that was it. How many rebuilds have we seen? We want to be relevant again, but I think that this is the patient part. It's important because I think we have a nice little core of people. I say after next season is when we start looking at bringing in a big dude, a big time free agent, because now these guys will have played together. And I'll never forget what Frank Thomas said one time at Sox Fest. This is back when Yo-Yo and all those guys were acquiring them, and we just acquired them. And he's like, listen. Put them all in the minors together. Start them off at Double-A. He goes, let them play. He goes, move them up together. He goes, let them play together. Let them get used to being around each other because this is the team that they're going to have. And I think this is what they're doing now. They're bringing all these guys up. I think what were there 6, 7 rookies yesterday?
Yeah.
6, 7 rookies on a 24-man roster?
Absolutely, man. I love what guys like Austin Slater are doing, and
he had a bump earlier a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. I like what the young guys, and because they're like pieces of clay. They're coming in and they're just getting molded to be efficient baseball players, and they're coming in to a clubhouse where the manager is respected, where guys are smiling, having fun. Even on the L, they're competing. They're competing and they're keeping their heads up even when they catch that L. They know, like, okay, we didn't win this one, but we're going to take the next one. And that's the attitude that Will Venable is instilling in these guys. And you love to see it. This is the beginning. We're still at the beginning. This is still we're still in our infancy here with this, Shawn. You know what I mean? So, yeah, absolutely. You know, so by no means you ask me, you know, like, where are we going this year? You know, we're not. This is developmental year. We're trying to get from A1 to A2 this year, you know what I mean, and move up and just become a sound baseball team. And luckily, we got the lowly Colorado Rockies, who are trying to take our record from us.
You can have it
for most losses in a year. So maybe we'll be out of that conversation by the end of the year, hopefully.
The good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. Hell yeah.
That's right. We may not be the worst team ever in history at the end of this season. Hopefully, man.
I mean, I'm not wishing them bad luck, but if it happens,
I am. I want that stink off of us. I no longer. If that label lasts only one season, as if being the worst team in the modern era of baseball, if that only lasts one season, yes, I'll take it. Colorado can have it.
Yeah, you can have it. I agree. You can take it and run with it. Great stuff, Papa. I appreciate it. Do me a big favor, though, before you go, let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
Yes, sir. You can catch me on Thursday nights, 9 o'clock Central, on the Plunked podcast. We are part of the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast Network. So you can catch us on Facebook. You can catch us on the Chicago Clubhouse Network YouTube channel, where we are, again, 7 o'clock. I'm sorry, 9 p.m. Central Thursday nights. Catch us tomorrow night. We have a special guest tomorrow night. The one and only Shawn Sierra will be on with us tomorrow night. And we're going to talk some more baseball. Going to talk some White Sox. Going to talk some Cubs.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be at a cigar social. So I'm gonna see how loud it's gonna be. If I can be in there.
Nice.
Now I have to go in the car. My buddy's having a Father's Day cigar social.
Right on, man. That sounds awesome.
I don't have any kids, but enough people call me Papi, so we're good.
Hey, man, you got the title without the headache.
Hey, great stuff, Papa. I will see you tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, my brother. We'll talk soon.
You have a great day.
All right, be well.
All right. Guys, that's Emilio Buck from the Plunked Podcast. I'll be on his show tomorrow. Clock. Like I said, I have a cigar social to go to. A good buddy of mine is having a Father's Day cigar social. And I really didn't want to go. Man. But, you got $65, you get a cigar, and I don't know if you get a free drink or something, but whatever. You support your people. Because oftentimes our biggest supporters are strangers and our biggest haters are the people we know. All right. So whenever I got people who are doing stuff, I try to support. And so even if they don't support me, sometimes I'm not that tit for tat type of guy. Well, you didn't support you didn't come to here, you didn't turn on my show and this and that. All right, cool, man. It's good. Always put good karma out there in the world, because believe me, it comes back tenfold. But listen, here's what we're gonna do. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. On the other side of the break, my man's in them. I told you, I sound like Ahmad Rashad. Everyone, my main man. I know MJ was his main man, but every time he had a guy on, it was his main man. But everyone, me, is my man's in them. He's one of my man's in them. Him, Emilio, Ken Davis. He's a Bear analyst. You've seen him here plenty of times before. And we're going to talk some Bears with Glynn Morgan on the other side of the break. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I
I meditate in the mornings. I have my dogs. They're the best. I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
It's a romance sport. What? It's a romance sport like that.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Everybody in a work zone is someone's somebody.
This is my mom. She works for KDOT.
This is my dad.
This is my mom.
This is my daddy.
This is my sister.
This is my daddy.
This is my son, Scott. He was killed while working in a highway work zone. When you drive through a work zone, drive like a life depends on it. Because it does.
Yeah, no, he misses a lot. I mean, anytime you're not out there, if you're in the training room when the rest of the guys are practicing, you're losing valuable time. Valuable time with your coaches, valuable reps with your teammates, the ability to build the trust that we're talking about. It's not just the coaching staff having trust in you doing the right thing over and over, but it's also your teammates. They got to be out there. They got to see you do it. They got to know that the guy right, left of them, that they're going to do the right things and they're going to make the plays when called upon. So, I think it's for everybody, and it's a shame that he got dinged up and missed all that time, because for a young player, it's really where you get the most reps and you can get better in a hurry that way. So that's really for every player on this team.
Welcome back to ShawnSierraSports. Those clips courtesy of the Chicago Bears. That was Bears head coach Ben Johnson. And I'll tell you what, I love it. All right? Get your ass out there. All right? It sucks. Get your ass in the training room, get in the rehab room, get some ice, get some stem, get some stretching, get some ultrasound. Get your ass back on the field as soon as possible, especially a youngster. All right? Now, listen, we're not asking him to – we're not asking you, Luther, to come in and catch 100 balls and get us 1,000, 1,200 yards. We're not doing it. No. All right? We want you to learn the offense and do what you do. You run really fast. You run by people, and you catch touchdowns. And you run after the catch. You were the yak king of NCAA football last year, the most yards after catch in college football last year. Okay? We need you out there learning our system so you can continue to do that. Run after the catch. Black Diamond checking in. What's up, Papa? How are you? Good to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in, Papa. Appreciate you. My next guest, my man's in now. Told you about that. Chicago Bears draft analyst. And you can find him on Twitter at True Glynn Morgan. Guys, just welcome back to Shawn and Maya. I keep saying Shawn and Maya. It's ShawnSierraSports. It's crazy. Well, Old habits die hard. It's been, what, 7 years, 8 years? Let's welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports, Glynn Morgan. Glynn, what's up, Papa? How are you?
Hey, what's going on, brother? How you feel, man?
Good, man. I'm good. I had a kick-ass workout this morning. I'm fired up.
Workout.
Mom's had to come go to doctor's appointments recently, so things are good over here, man. Things are good. I'm happy.
Glad to hear that about your mom's. The workout thing, I don't know what that means. Workout. You mean like cookout? You outside cooking? You barbecue? That's what you mean. Cookout, not workout. You
working. I need a couple of those this summer, boy. I need some summertime Shawn, baby.
Yes, sir.
Summertime Shawn. That's what I'm talking about. But mandatory OTAs just got over with.
Yeah.
All right. And Ben Johnson spared no one. Yelled at Caleb a couple times. Yelled at Cole Kmet a couple times. Your thoughts on this tough love that he's giving these guys? Is this something that you like? Is something that he needs to cool out on? Your thoughts on Ben Johnson's tough love and him actually demanding his players be accountable? Crazy idea.
Yeah, and insane, right? Just as a one off to you and everyone else here. I grew up. My father was a military man, Air Force. He was a sergeant.
Oh, geez, bro.
And
know where you're going.
Right during the Korean conflict, and just to put it out there, as a black man in this country's army during that time, or sorry, this military during that time, not an easy thing. So, and let me tell you, my old man used to tell me growing up in his home was more difficult than being in the military. So, with that being said, he is not yelling at them enough. No, you can get after it more. Don't be soft on them, BJ. Get after them. Yeah, no, man, this is grown-ass men with grown-ass dollars in their pockets. So, no, if they can't handle this now in OTAs, you don't need to be here. Peace out. I don't even want to hear that, especially after coming off of the last year's season. And for those who've been here for several seasons under this regime, as far as the general manager being brought in by him, no, you've got no room. You can't complain about anything. No, I don't even want to hear that. Next question.
Yeah. I love it, man. I really do. And the fact is, the reports we had that we got from last year was like they treated Caleb with kid gloves last year.
Yeah, of course.
And that's the worst thing you can do as a coach. Worst thing. And as a coach, you want to be on your star player. And he is the face of the franchise.
Right.
You want to be on your star player the hardest. And he's got to accept it. He's got to understand because what he's doing, he's setting the tone for everybody else. Because if he's yelling at this dude, number 1 overall pick, guess what he's going to do to me?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important. I think Caleb understands that. I think Caleb is fine with that. And I think I'm really looking forward. Ever since a couple of things. Once that whole book thing came out and the quotes, right, and that whole situation. But when Caleb, initially said, or when he finally heard, he said, "Hey, you know what? I want to go to Chicago and I want to change it." My respect for him grew. Okay. Right. And I think, and then watching his interaction with Ben Johnson, taking the code, taking the critiques, not even criticism, it's critiques. Like, you're not doing it fast enough. Come on. All right, I need this idea. You want to be great? Here's what I need from you. And Caleb's like, bet, I got you. Watching that interaction, Caleb's desire to be great. We're the guy who's going to say, you're going to be great, damn it. Just do what the hell I tell you. Right. I am more and more excited about this season now than I was a couple of months ago, because I see the synergy that they're having. Okay. Only problem is that Caleb just got to get it. Like, I'll tell you what, it started 2026 season. My feet are in 2025. But the 2026 season, when he ain't got to learn shit, we ain't got to learn a new offense. Come on, man. Now we're cooking with gas. But I'm here. I'm all present in 2025. Your thoughts on that synergy between Caleb and Ben Johnson?
Well, you hit it head on. You don't want to set a tone or a precedent where you enable the young person. Or, if you're a parent, you don't become a friend to your kids.
Bingo.
You have to be a
parent.
That
for all the people. Say that for all the new parents, young parents.
If you're a parent, you are not your kid's friend. You are their parent. And you're supposed to know better. And when you're supposed to know better, you're supposed to teach better so that they can do better. And so if we just take that as an analogy, I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing Ben Johnson be the adult in the room because that's what he's paid to be. Not only that, but
handsomely paid.
But not only that, yes, Caleb is super important, obviously, hands down. But it's not just Caleb. You are the head coach of the team, so he's not your only priority. He may be first or second in line, or first and second in line, all things to it's how you look at it. But there's still a lot of other things you have to pay attention to, and that's where your coaching staff comes in. But as a head coach, you have to set that tone so that everyone else follows. It starts at the top. I mean, I can come up with all the cliches, but there's a reason why they're a cliche. It starts at the top. As so the top goes, so does the rest of the body follow, the heads of the body, all that stuff. So to answer your question, the relationship, the synergy, I'm looking forward to it being something very reminiscent or similar to Holmgren and Favre. I remember a couple of years back when I was with NBC Sports Chicago, and we were talking, this is before the draft, this is the draft leading into Caleb being taken. One of the things I said about him that was going to be important that I felt at that time was that you have someone that can rein him in, someone that can make him do what you need him to do. It's going to be difficult because he's such an athlete. He's such a force multiplier in his own mind, whether or not that happens all the time consistently. In his own mind, every snap, it's got to be a play that's made, and by a play it's made, not necessarily sensational, but there's going to be times where he tries to do more than what's necessary because, he's got to make it happen. And sometimes you force things too much when you do that and you become the gunslinger, i.e. Brett Favre. There are times where Holmgren was pulling out his hair, like, what the F are you doing? Obviously you have a cult. You have a talented person. I'm talking about Brett Favre back then, a guy who has all this talent, just raw ability. And he can make things happen even when stuff breaks down. And you love that about him. The problem is when it doesn't break down, you don't have to make things happen. Just do what you're supposed to do. But you need someone to coach you. You need that parent to rein you in. Yep. Make the layup. Exactly. Make the layup. You don't have to do a 360 dunk and miss. So I'm hoping, as I said earlier, that Ben Johnson and Caleb's relationship can mirror that in some degree. If it mirrors that in success, that'd be awesome. But I think that's important, and you need to have that. And I think Caleb, he's precocious enough of an individual to understand and realize when he has someone that's going to not just hold him accountable, but hold them accountable. I don't think he got that last year. I think it's too much blame deferring going on, or CYA type kind of stuff at times. Too many people probably would shrug shoulders or things along those lines. I mean, we weren't there. We don't know. I'm talking speculatively from the vantage point we have and clearly from the results that showed. So I think, as you mentioned, as synergistic as it may seem right now, it only needs to improve and grow better and grow stronger, and it will. You're going to have your growing pains. It's not going to be a linear progression here. You're going to have your ups and downs. It's going to be circuitous at times. But overall, when you get to that destination, that's the most important part. And how you get there, the process, which is what this is right now in the beginnings. It's in the process, learning the process so that you can learn and understand and be speaking the same language at the same time. That's where it's important. And I think we're seeing the beginnings of that now.
Talk about process. And I think as fans, just like the players, we have to enjoy and embrace the process because there's going to be a point where Caleb's not going to learn this offense.
Oh, of course.
He's going to understand it. He's going to get it. All right. And there's going to be times, and we're going to say, man, we remember the Civil War. We remember the three play callers he had under Eberflus. We're going to remember we're going to remember all these steps along the way. Right. That process, that the maturation of this team, of this quarterback. And if we get to the promised land, which is what the ultimate goal is,
sure,
man, that process, it makes it so much sweeter watching the whole process and being there from the beginning. And I think that's what's awesome. That's what I implore fans to do is be where you're at, be where your feet are at. All right. Mm-hmm. Right now we're in 2025. Right. Mm-hmm. And don't give me, the biggest thing that got me so annoyed this offseason so far
is
they're keeping stats for quarterbacks in OTAs. Well, Shedeur Sanders was 9 for 10 with this and this and this and this, and Caleb was 6 for 8. They're in shoulder pads. Yeah. I mean, not even shoulder pads. They're in shorts.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop the nonsense. Like you talk about thirsty ass. Like, stop being so damn thirsty. All right, work on. Worry about. Hey, he looked better today. All right, he was consistent. He hit 5 different receivers and blah, blah, they look good. Defense look, you know what I mean? Like, don't give me stats and, he threw 3 touchdowns. Stop with the nonsense. People are just think it's too much.
Yeah, guys aren't being tackled, and no one's really fearing going across the middle, and the defense is only kind of getting at you, not getting into and onto you. Yeah, exactly. I agree. 100%.
Bell's not being wrong.
right. It's nonsense. Yeah, but yeah, I think you hit it perfectly in a sense that tell me what growth you're seeing out there. Has there been consistency? Is there speed behind what they're doing, or are they still moving in slow motion? Do they look like they're thinking out there and not just acting and reacting? How's everyone? How are they coming out of the cuts? How's the relationship when things aren't working right on the field? How do they communicate? And then is it done more efficiently and effectively the next time they're on the play? Those are the kind of things that I would just assume, just based on what you said, the things that you're looking for, so you can get an understanding about how these individuals are coming together, how they're processing, and really, what the leadership is going to be on this team, and how they're going to go about doing what they do. And those things are important. The stats are superfluous at this point in time. It's just completely meaningless. It doesn't mean a GD thing. It really doesn't.
And that's some of the things that I want, that a lot of guys that don't do. They're not saying, okay, he was better. And if you use stats, cool. But
Yeah,
use him in a situation like, hey, you know what? He's hitting his receivers on a more consistent basis. Today was, 1 ball hit the ground, two balls hit the ground, whatever. All right. He overthrew a couple. All right. He overthrew a couple yesterday. Now he seems to be on target. All right. Things of that nature.
Right.
Let people know what you're seeing. You're seeing the growth. You're seeing the development. Don't say he looked good. Well, what does good mean?
Yeah, that's so. Right? Yes, that's
and if you want to use stats, say, well, okay, there were less. He was more efficient today. With it looks like it appears that the relationship between him and Rome is getting better, or him and DJ is getting better. You know what I mean? All these things. So talk to us about that. That's what we want to hear. No, he looked good. Okay, well, what does good mean?
Well, yeah, good would be he hit him in stride. Bad would be he threw behind him and he made the catch. Or not so good would be he threw behind him. Good would be he was consecutive. He hit 7 consecutive passes in a row, hitting all levels. His deep ball looked better this day as opposed to 2 days previous. Those are the kind of things where you can see the improvement, the growth, or the vice versa of that. Hey, he struggled with his deep passes. He was behind on crossing routes. Things like that. That gives you more of a window into what's going on than some stats that 3 for 4 for 75 yards. Okay, well, 2 of those passes were like swing passes, and DJ Moore broke one. I mean, it means absolutely nothing. That doesn't tell me.
He kept running, so it's
he kept running, right?
Defense tagged him, but he kept running. It was a touchdown. Like, stop. Nonsense. Talk to me about what would you like? Give me 2 or 3 things that you would have liked, or that you want to have happened, or hope happened in this training camp. What were some of the things that you say, okay, in this training camp, this has to happen, this has to happen, this has to. I should say training camp because they haven't gotten there yet. The mandatory OTAs up to this point, the OTAs, the voluntary mini camp, voluntary OTAs, then the mandatory OTAs. What are some of the things that you wanted to have happen that would put you in a good space moving into training camp?
We kind of tangentially talked a little bit about it, alluded to it with Ben Johnson, and basically it's attention to detail. That's something that I wanted to hear consistently. I wanted to hear immediately, and I wanted to hear throughout that this coaching staff, led by their head coach, they're paying attention to all the details. Footwork, repetition, consistency, and execution, and then calling people out verbally if need be. Shout out to Eric Bieniemy. He's not going to be shy about that. Antoine Randall as well. Guys where it's like, again, we say it sometimes when we get a little flustered when someone comes at us. We're like, I'm a grown ass man. Blah blah blah. You don't tell me you're a grown ass man. If you have to tell me, then I don't think you believe it.
Yeah.
So act like the king doesn't have to say he's the king. You know what I mean? So act like it, and acting like that means that when the coaches address you, because they're not coming at you just because they're trying to make a name. Most of these guys their names have been made quite some time ago. So they're doing it to make you better by you being the players and to make this team and this organization, a winning one. So anything they're saying now, especially now, hey, you take that and you learn that, you digest that. And the yelling part, like I said, I grew up in a military father. I can't tell you, man, how many times me and or my siblings, like 2 brothers, 2 sisters, we were yelled at. So much so that anybody else that ever yelled at me, I was listening for the message. Okay, so what are you trying to tell me? I didn't, the cacophony, the noise was just like background. What are you trying to say? What are the words in that yelling?
Right.
Okay, F-U, M-F, get your crap together and block. Okay, block. Got it.
Block. Sift through all that shit.
right. Sift through the noise to get to the message. And that's what I wanted to see. I wanted the Bear players to sift through the noise so they can get the message, and then they can begin to gel as a team. So that's one of the things. The other thing that I really want to see, and I don't know how much you're going to really see it per se, but I'm concerned because as good as this defense has been collectively, and there's not a lot of new pieces per se, a lot of some of the same players. I mean, there's some key additions, no doubt, but the bulk of the defense are some of the same players. How are they going to react and respond and acclimate to Dennis Allen's schemes? Because it's going to be different than what the previous head coach / defensive coordinator had in Eberflus. So sometimes with defenses, you don't want to be caught thinking, because you're already a step behind the offense anyway, because you're reacting to the offense. If you're caught in your thought on reacting to what they're already doing, then you're like 2 and 3 steps behind. And it's early, so I get that. But I want to be able to see that the defense, they're understanding what's being asked of them and making sure that they're in the right positions to do what they do best. Gervon Dexter is probably a perfect example. Here's a guy who was at Florida where it was kind of a read and react kind of defense. And although his size and athleticism, you would think he would be, penetrating and doing all types of things and create havoc in the middle. A lot of times he was just holding things up, until he could kind of react to something, and it didn't really work. And so when he got here to Chicago, it was more like, no, we expect you to get upfield because that's what this defensive scheme requires from you. So he had to kind of learn what that is. Dennis Allen's probably going to be an amalgamation of both. And so this is the part where he's going to have to think about what he's doing and relearn some things or learn some new things in the process. How best is he and the other players like him are going to be able to adjust? The linebacker is going to be asked to do things a little bit differently. Their drops are going to be differently. The edges, are you getting upfield? Are you, all these things are going to be something that these players have to adjust to. So that's what I'm interested in seeing. And again, probably can tell more once they get back to camp and we get closer to the preseason. But that's something that I want to hear the players saying, yeah, I'm not thinking as much, or yeah, I'm getting to it, or yeah, I'm understanding this. I think in this defense, I'm going to be able to do this, whereas before I was either held back or it wasn't considered. That's what I want to see here. I didn't hear a whole bunch of that, but I didn't hear anything negative. But that's what I was kind of looking forward early on, and maybe admittedly a little ahead of myself. The last thing, you said 2 to 3 things. I said the last thing for me, we touched a little bit about Caleb, and I think that's important. But what I think was really important for Caleb to be able to be successful, and this is kind of based off of what we've seen the Detroit Lions do the last several years under Ben Johnson's leadership as offensive coordinator. And I want to see how well and how good and how explosive and effective and consistent the running back room can be. This running game is going to really be the thing that helps Caleb early on when he's still learning the offense. You're going to have to lean on the running game, going to have to lean on the defense. It's very basic football. Shit ain't changed in 100 years. But, that's how well the running back room addressed to pass protection, how well there's an understanding of what these running backs can do and putting them in positions so that you can exploit or leverage their abilities best against whatever kind of defense you're facing. And that's something that you see a little bit, and I like that Eric Bieniemy is getting after these guys. And right now it's the attention to details. Nope, you're not hitting the blocking sled the right way. You get underneath it. You got to drive. You're hitting at it. You're holding it, whatever. Move your feet. Nope, feet need to be higher. Nope, when you make that cut to catch the pass, you got to make it here and pivot here, not pivot up, pivot out. Just things like that. That, again, we talked about earlier, and I said it before, the coaching staff holding these guys accountable, which kind of goes to my first point when you asked, the attention to detail. So those are the things that I was looking forward to, and really wanted to see how that manifested itself during this period of training.
Guys, we're joined by Glynn Morgan, Bears draft analyst, talking Bears football with your boy here on ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. You mentioned the running back room. Do you think they're still in play for another running back?
I do.
Dobbins just got taken. He's going to Denver. The other guy went to the Texans.
Chubb went to the Texans.
Do you think they're in? And who do you think that out there is someone they might go after, or do you think they're happy with?
100. That's the whatever Ben Johnson's contract is. That's that amount. That's how much that's the amount that question is. It may be a no name, quote unquote. It could be someone that's cut off of the team. I think they're still trying to figure out exactly what they might need. Ben Johnson, he had Swift, so he knows what he can do. There's a reason why they moved on from Swift, though. And Ben Johnson was there when they moved on from Swift. So I have to be thinking they're looking for someone who can be explosive, and who can, catch out the backfield, who can run maybe better routes as a running back, not just swing pass and I got not run out to the flat, but someone who can actually do a good crisp Texas route, or someone that can do something a little up the field and be problematic, but also is malleable enough, adjustable, enough of versatile enough in terms of their ability where you put him in the backfield, it's not a giveaway. Oh, he's back here. Okay, like when we had Tariq Cohen, he's in the backfield. All right, I'm thinking perimeter, and he's either running to the perimeter or he's running to catch a pass. Okay, we got those. Okay, the big guys in there. Okay, so it's going to be a running game. You don't want to you don't want it to be so obvious what you're doing. So I think they're looking for that type, and you can do that with Swift right now. But again, like I said, there's a reason why Ben Johnson moved on, and the Lions moved on from him. So I think they may be looking for someone who can fill that type of role. Now, is that someone that's on the practice squad now? Is that a hurt player coming back? Is that a player that may be cut from some other team? I think those things remain to be seen, but I think they have enough big bodies to kind of give you those tough yards, inside runs, the goal line runs. I think they're decent enough there with that. I think they're looking for someone a bit more explosive with pass catching skills.
Okay. I think they're really, when they didn't get Trayvon Henderson, when the Pats jumped in front of him, they were there, positioned in front of him. Well, they took him right there.
Yep.
And then they went to Kyle Monangai.
Yeah.
I think they might be higher on Kyle Monangai than people may think.
Well, I agree with you in the sense of what he can offer in terms of reliability and consistency. I think he's a person that, as the season wears on, you'll see he's good in pass pro. I think he'll be a person who won't make too many mistakes. Like he won't miss too many assignments, whether it's with the rock or whether it's pass protecting. I don't believe he gives you that home run hitting ability that this offense needs to be extra special. But here's the thing, and I said this some time ago before, not today, but a while back after the draft. I think Luther Burden can be that guy. He's got to stay healthy, obviously, and he's got to understand the playbook and all those things are required. And that's a lot that's going to be asked of him to learn, not just your passing routes, which is very difficult for any receiver coming into the league, but also if he's going to be used in the backfield. He has enough size that he can be used in the backfield. You don't want to overdo that, obviously. But you put him back there, you're telling the defense this is going to be an explosive play, potentially. I don't know how it's going to be utilized, but it can be explosive. So he can draw eyes, and sometimes you can use him as a decoy, and that's a good thing. But I think Luther has enough ability that he can get to the perimeter running, kind of like I said with the Tariq Cohen thing, get to the perimeter. But he's got a little better size that maybe a nice quick, zone trap read kind of thing he can run and get you some inside yards or whatever, with maybe have some read zone type stuff with Caleb. He's athletic enough, and you can threaten in different ways with an athletic quarterback and a super athlete in the backfield with like Luther Burden. But again, I think those are just moments in the game, not necessarily something that your game plan like with Jamar Gibbs, you can revolve around, from first quarter through the fourth quarter. I think that element is still missing from this team right now, as far as the backfield goes.
I'm interested to see in there, they had DeAndre Swift initially, but I also think he may have evolved and maybe he's a little better now than he was back then. And I would hope so, because you don't want to, your first year or two in the league, you want to be a little different as you move on, as you get more comfortable in the league. Because I personally watched DeAndre Swift really. He got me to believe. He made me a believer. I was very, but I thought he was a perimeter guy outside, that type of thing. And I saw in his running between the tackles ability was far greater than I had given him credit for. Now he's not running through linebackers. No. But he's going to hit that hole. He has no problem running in between the tackles. He'll jump over you like he did the guy on the Rams. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I think that they might be happier with him. And then I can't wait for Kyle Monunga. When the pads come on, boy, I can't wait for Kyle Monunga, because one, this dude he hadn't fumbled in college. All right. Not once in college, and two, he's got great contact balance. He's not a dude you can just hit and expect him to fall over. This dude is he reminds me of Ashton Genty without the speed.
Okay.
Without the speed, because Ashton Genty got boop. Oh no, he's up. Boom, he's gone. This guy boop up, and he's still going. Let's go get him.
So Ashton generic is what you're saying.
Yeah, you got to get him at the Aldi's.
Not Trader Joe, but the Aldi's. Gotcha.
Aldi's. Defensively, they're talking defensive lines work together a lot in the offseason, and I was mistaken. I thought it was Grady Jarrett who got those guys together down in Florida, and it wasn't. It was Gervon Dexter.
Yeah, he's
Your
from
thoughts
Florida.
on him stepping up and organizing the just workouts with he invited Grady Jarrett down once they signed him, but Austin Booker was down there. I think Zach Pickens, some of the other guys. Talking about and you mentioned him earlier, but talked about what you expect from him this year. It's kind of like a leader. He looks like a leader. Damn near like a leader.
Yeah, I agree with you. Again, a few years back during the year that he was being drafted, he was someone that I kept falling back. I was like, man, I think this dude will be there. I think he'll be there. And when I had my final mock board, he was on there, and I kind of got some flack for him being on there because he wasn't quote unquote productive at Florida. I'm like, yeah, but you got to understand what he was put in, what he was asked to do, and so on and so forth. And then once he got here, when you listen to him talk and his dedication to where he needed to do things to transform his body a little bit, and he was dedicated to that, and he did that. It's one thing to say it; it's another thing when you do it. It shows, because that takes discipline, something that I clearly don't have, because you work out in the morning and I clearly don't. I listen to what people say, and then I watch and see what the follow through is. And his follow through has always been consistent. And not only that, but I remember the type of athlete that he was. And I know a lot of guys that could play basketball, play baseball, and all that stuff, but he was like basketball he thought that was going to be his thing. I'm like, he really did. And so to me, I'm like, he has a latent athleticism that hasn't really been tapped into by the right coaches just yet. But I think as a professional, I think he's the kind of person who he's kind of like a down south young man, a good old down south boy, in the sense that you don't say a lot, but you pay attention, you listen, and you pay attention to the nuances. Like, you're out there fishing, when it's a nibble, when it's a bite, the difference. He has that patience. He has that down south patience. I see it, the kind of person that's just kind of fishing, and he's at peace with himself. So I think he's comfortable with where he is, even though there's been a lot of adversity and a lot of inconsistency within the organization. And I think now he realizes, his worth, and he's grown, and he was an early father too as well. So he's been a very mature person, I guess is what I'm getting at. And so that maturation, the maturity, that growth is just continuing. This is just another level, and I think it'll continue to go. And I think he's one person in this defense that I think could be let loose, and no one necessarily expecting. People are going to be looking at Montez and Grady and maybe one or two of the linebackers, and obviously our secondary has always been outstanding. I think he might be the stir, or was it the stir that straws the drink? I can't talk. He might be the straw that stirs the drink, so to speak, from the interior. And one of the things I always thought was in his wheelhouse, his superpower was his ability to collapse a pocket and push it in. And with his length and his size and his quickness, he's going to be a problem. Having Grady next to him, that's going to be a problem for a lot of teams. Maybe not the Eagles. They got one of the better lines. We'll see what happens with the Lions since their center's gone. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think that's going to be the secret sauce to the Bears defense is that interior from the D tackles, that interior push and presence by them, and he's going to be one of those catalysts, I think, for this defense, for Dennis Allen's defense for the 2025 season, and hopefully just getting better each and every year.
I think you touched on something that I think you kind of glossed over it, but it's important for me to go back over. The Grady Jarrett effect is going to be huge, not just for Grady Jarrett, because now he doesn't have to play all. He doesn't have to be a 3-down D lineman. Mm-hmm. You got Gervon Dexter. Think of the wisdom and the coaching tips and the shortcuts, the knowledge that he has that he can pass on. Think of it, and I think the luckiest guy in that whole defense is Shamar Turner. This is the one guy when you move up a level, high school,
little Grady,
college, and pros. Okay, the most important coaching that you get is your first couple of years, especially that first year. Yeah. Right, it lays the foundation. Right, because so then you don't have to go up and rip up the foundation and start it over again. And you got a guy who is a perennial Pro Bowler. Mm-hmm. Okay, in your position meetings that you can pick, whose brain you can pick, a guy who plays with an edge like you do. I'm talking about Shamar Turner.
Right, little Grady, yeah, Shamar
like
Turner.
You.
Gotcha.
And to have him here in your first year or two or maybe 3, who knows how long it is, that's invaluable to that dude because that could be Grady Jarrett 2.0.
Yeah, I dude, several times I'm calling him a little Grady as you're talking. I'm like, yeah, he's little Grady Jarrett. I mean, it really is.
Punch you in the nuts every once in a while if you get the best of him, but hey, I'm okay with that. I know I'm running back, but I was a defensive coordinator. I'm okay if I see a guy like that. Hey, all right, just hit him in. Do that during the play, not after when everyone can see. Stop it.
You speak to a point as far as that mentorship, and you're absolutely right. And this is why I was so pissed off last season. And I say egregious display of lack of general managership when Poles did not provide that type of quarterback in the room for Caleb. And now we're seeing that with Case Keenum. And it makes a difference. So yes, Grady Jarrett, Shamar Turner, Case Keenum, the other quarterbacks in the room. So yes, you again, you're hitting all the nails with the nail gun. It's like, yeah, you're nailing it, dude.
I got it. Keep looking with Shamar Ding Ding Turner. That's funny because I just see Apollo Creed put the mouthpiece. He goes, ring the bell. Ding, ding. Oh, you look good, Stallion. You look good. I taught you well.
Right.
Talk to me about what do you think Ben Johnson is going? What do you think some of his issues are going to be? What is he going to encounter as a first-year head coach that's going to be an interesting situation? Where do you think he might stumble? And I won't say really make an ass out of himself because he's. The best thing he did was hire Dennis Allen. Best thing he did was hire a guy who's a head coach, a two-time head coach, who's been in situations that every situation that Ben Johnson is going to be in, Dennis Allen has been in, and he can rely on. But what do you think he's gonna have to one of the challenges that Ben Johnson might have?
Impatience, man. He's impatient. It's because he in his mind, and again, I'm speaking for him like I know what the hell he's thinking, but I would think, and I speculatively say so here in the comforts of my own abode, that Ben Johnson, he knows how it's supposed to work. He knows how it's supposed to look. And if it's not getting there, with as quickly as you want so you can have the success and do the things that you want to do, it can grate on you. And you have to be patient. He's going to be patient with himself. He's going to be patient with some of his coaches who are just learning him for the first time. He's definitely going to have to be patient with the players. He's going to be patient with the fans, the expectations of the organization. And with all of that patience, what you need to have is grace. You have to allow yourself grace and grace for everyone around you. Doesn't mean you don't hold them accountable. It just means that you don't stay stuck in the negativity, and you learn from your mistakes, and you pace yourself. So I think pace, along with that, and the impatience and the purposefulness of having pace, along with the grace to get through it all, is what I see is going to be his greatest struggle for this initial season as a head coach.
That's a great point.
Hey, Grizz, man, don't even. Why are you cursing at me like that? Talking about Cubs, Grizz, don't curse at me like that, bro.
See, you got to forgive Jay Grizz. He was one of those kids that ate lead paint chips back.
Yeah, I believe that. Man, don't cuss at me like that.
He's always telling me about the Cubs. I'm like, no, I got toilet paper, bro. I'm good. Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I go to the Costco. Not Costco. Go to the Costco.
Man, what? I mean, come on, bro. I mean, we were having a nice conversation. Everybody was smiling with all this positivity. You want to go ahead and start throwing flies and ointment. I mean, well, leave that P. Diddy ointment stuff out of here, man. We bringing that stuff in. No, none of that stuff, man. I can't believe you just went there. Good Lord.
Jay Grizz, you're a fool, man. Dude, we always talk Cubs Sox, and hey, at least we can. You know the old saying, baseball divides us and football unites us.
Oh,
right?
yeah, without a doubt.
That's
just Chicago.
Let's stay here, Jay Grizz. Let's keep our feet here. Remember I tell you, Jay?
Right.
Be where your feet are at. Right now we're talking Bears. We ain't talking about, hey, the Cubs still suck. I don't care if you're in first, your best record in the National League. You still suck. All right?
Exactly. That's how I grew up.
The Bears. We're staying here. But yeah, so I'm okay. That's a great point because I didn't look at it that way. But you're right. Knowing how well your offense works, you got a kind of a reject quarterback in Jared Goff on the Rams, who they realized they couldn't win with, and you made him the leader of the number one offense in the NFL. So you know your system works. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, and here's the thing that I'm happy about. I'm happy that Caleb's here. All right, he could have been gone with a lot of the other vets. The vets were dismissed last week, but Caleb's still here. Caleb, and again, there's a lot of end of the roster type of guys, excuse me. But the fact that Caleb's still here, trying to pick up on this again, has my respect has increased my respect for him because he understands. Like, and Caleb's never been dumb. I've never said he was dumb. All right, he knows he can read the temperature of the room. He knows who he is. He knows what's expected of him. He knows where he needs to take this franchise. And right now he's doing all the things necessary. And I love it because it's similar. And I hope it's not just this year. All right. Because the one thing that I love, and see, Kobe called it the Mamba mentality. All right. Mike didn't call it anything. He just called, I'm gonna whoop your ass in the game. He didn't have a fancy title of like a Mamba mentality. But people knew. All right. His work ethic was intense. And I hope that Caleb's work ethic remains this intense not in the next couple of years, even once he gets the offense. And I hope when over the summer when he's with his boys, with his receivers, and he doesn't let shit slide. Like, no, I need you here. No, DJ, I need you here. No, Rome, I need you here. No, Luther, I need you here. No, Colson, stop that. Komet, no, I need you a yard deeper, a yard shorter. I hope he's on the details because that is what's going to make. Look at all the great quarterbacks. They all are. All the great quarterbacks, the Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, they are. We just look at Peyton Manning. Jesus Christ, that dude was cerebral. And I mean, let's be honest, you got to be cerebral to be a quarterback. We talked about Brett Favre being a gunslinger.
I'm about to say Brett Favre wasn't really that cerebral. Neither was John Elway. But I get what you're saying.
But there was things where he knew where he knew where your abilities.
Sure.
He knew what he can do against your abilities. You know what I mean? So.
The football IQ needs to be IQing when it's out there, no doubt.
Yeah, and as of right now, it looks things are good. Again, we're in shorts and a T-shirt and a helmet. Things look great. I'm hoping that it transfers over, and all this tough love that Ben Johnson has given him really sticks. Because if it does, man, this team has a chance to be really, really disruptive. Not just in the NFC North, but in the NFC and the NFL.
This example may not be universal, but I think it's more so a thing that it's not, and that's that relationship between whether it's the head coach / offensive coordinator or just the head coach and their star player. And I'll even say, I'll even go defense, like Bill Parcells, Lawrence Taylor, Bill Belichick, Brady, Holmgren, Favre. We mentioned that earlier. Right now, you're seeing it in Kansas City with Andy Reid and Mahomes. And I'll even go to a different sport. And I just recently saw part of her interview with Jamil Hill. This is Candace Parker. And I'm picking just champions, for whatever reason, in their relationship with their coach. You always hear these players, these superstar players, these super accomplished, legendary players, iconic players. They'll refer to a specific coach, and even if it was a college coach. And with Candace Parker, she still talks about Pat Summitt and the isms, the truisms, all those things, those lessons learned, how they're applicable not just on the playing field, but also in life. And that's when that you've connected, the coach, the teachers connected to the student, and the student is taking the lessons on, and they're going beyond even where the coach or the teacher thought that they might be. Because you've got to be challenged. You've got to be able to find out where your limits are so that you can go past them. And hopefully Ben Johnson can do that for Caleb and Caleb with the Chicago Bears overall.
Yeah, that was a great interview with Candace Parker. And you're right. You always see that 1-2 punch. They're always talking to their head coach or that coach. And they've seen it. Joe Montana and Bill Walsh.
Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson and Mike. And Phil Jackson and Kobe. You know what I mean? We've seen it. It time and time again, and if that's the relationship that they're fostering, no pun intended, the foster covers in the chat, but if that's the relationship that they're fostering and they're building, man, then it's not unfortunately, fortunately for us, this seems like they're doing it the right way, which is foreign to us because we've been doing shit the wrong way for so long. Even at the beginning of this.
What looks right to us? I mean, we're like, sure. Every last year, we're like, hey, it looks right to us. I mean, we're still learning what right is, but this right feels a lot better than the wrongs that we thought were right previously. I feel you.
Yeah, but I'm saying that there's something tangible, like he's getting on players.
Yeah.
All right. Like, no, that wasn't good enough. Do this shit again. All right. That wasn't there. Like you see, there's certain things like I've been a champion as a player and as a coach, and certain things. Are tried and true. Like you talked about football, the game ain't changed. I mean, you may pass a little more, but when the shit comes down to it, you got to get a first down. You got to run. You got to block it. You got to tackle. Those are the pillars of it. All right, and that's the thing. He's teaching them the pillars of it, and that's why Detroit was so good for the last few years because he taught them the pillars and they bought in. Now he's doing that here. All right, nothing slides. Nothing gets by. It doesn't matter if you're the number 1 overall pick or you're an undrafted free agent. Nothing flies. And everybody in between. And I think that is what has everyone, myself included, really excited because there's building a team has to start that way. Building good teams, I mean, it doesn't matter what sport, there has to be, they're built a certain way, and he's building it that way. And that's the thing. It's a way that we haven't seen built here before for football since
Ditka, really. Yeah. Well, okay. I know. I think we're not giving Lovey his due.
You're right.
You're right. Definitely was. I think Lovey just had the problem of the charisma, or he just had a horrible Rolodex when it came to finding offensive coordinators. But yeah, he wasn't charismatic.
So since Lovey, we haven't had a guy to build a team like Lovey, and I'm jealous. I'm jealous of the Holmgren Favre, of the Steve Youngs, Bill Walsh, the Reeds and the Mahomes.
McNabbs,
I'm jealous of that. You know what I mean? I'm jealous of that because I want to see her. Hey, how can we screw this team over today? How can we, take their heart out today? That's what I'm jealous of because that's what they're talking about. That's exactly what they're talking about. All right, remember the play we ran this week? time. Okay, bet. Boom. That's what I'm jealous of. And it seems like this is where we're going now. And as Bear fans, to see what if in 3 years from now, things go the way they want, and all of a sudden you see Ben and Caleb talking on the sideline. You're like, oh, they cooking up some shit right now. They go, oh, you done messed up now. They cooking up some shit.
I firmly expect that to be the case. I know I have yeah, no doubt. I think we all are. I haven't always been the most effusive when it comes to Caleb. I'm not anti-Caleb. I'm a wait and see kind of thing, you know. I've always been kind of like, who are you really? What, you know, what, you know, just, you know, okay, convince me a little more. So I think the potential is there. I think, you know, there's so many positives about him. So I'm not negative. I'm just more like a wait and see kind of thing. But I can kind of see it a bit more with the type of person that Ben Johnson seems to be showing us. And just like you said, these combinations, you know Holmgren and Favre or Reed and Mahomes, you know, where they're cooking up stuff, you know, and it's like, yeah, we can be in that kind of conversation potentially, you know, and why not us? You know, I mean, we're, you know, you're a charter organization, man. I mean, damn, I mean, is it really that freaking hard in my lifetime, dude? Charter franchise, and basically half a century of my life I've been like, what the, most of the time. Okay, I mean, what the Ravens didn't even exist. Okay, didn't even exist in the 1980s. All right, it's like, what the hell? Or maybe it was late 80s, I don't know, but a point being, you know, they didn't exist, and they've been to the Super Bowl with 2 different head coaches, and this coach has been there like, you know, a third of my life. And Tomlin's been in Pittsburgh like a third of my life. Yeah. Belichick was in New England for like, you know, a fourth of my life. It's like, you know, Andy Reid's been winning pretty much like almost like 2/3 of my life. It's like, dude, like, come on. The Buccaneers have been to 2 different Super Bowls. The fucking Buccaneers, man. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, dude, that's embarrassing sometimes when you think about it. You know, Seattle's been to 2 different Super Bowls with 2 different. Like, come on, man. These teams didn't exist when I was a child. The Buccaneers and the Seahawks did not even freaking exist. You know, about the only team that could be more pissed off than us, fan base, would be probably the Cleveland Browns. You know what I'm saying? They lost the franchise, got it back, and they still trying to figure it out. But, you know, that's their problem. And like Joakim said, ain't nobody going to Cleveland for vacation.
Nope.
I don't anybody talking about that.
Stake by the lake. That's why they didn't put the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame there, bro, because there was nothing else to put there. Like, at least give something to give them something to people to go see.
Exactly. But yeah, man. We as Bear fans, man, as a charter franchise, as a franchise, I think we still have the most retired or most Hall of Famers from one team. I believe that's still us. All those things, you know, Super Bowl shuffle. I mean, whatever. I'm just gonna list them all. You know, Player of the Year, you know, or Man of the Year award, and Walter Payton, one of the greatest, if not the greatest running back ever to play. All these things, all this greatness, and yet there's a hollowness as a Chicago Bear fan that we feel because an emptiness, is an unfulfilled aspect. Because it's like, how are we this great and not this, but not as successful as we should?
Don't have the hardware to show it. Yeah,
don't have the hardware. It's bizarre. It's so Chicago, but it's bizarre. You know, I mean, the Bulls, the Bulls, 2-3-piece. Who does that? You know, the black. I mean, like, you know, it's like, man, dude, like, come on.
We need another team. Right? The Bulls at 2-3-piece. The Blackhawks 3 and 5. It should have been 4 and 5 years.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. Like, am I still living off the mid-late 80s Bears? I mean, damn. Come on, bro. I hope
the situation is one where for the next 20 years, people start to hate us, like we hated the Patriots. Yeah. All right. You know, and my Patriot fans, like they would never really care until like the divisional round.
Right.
Like, season really starts. Divisional round. If we don't get the AFC Championship game, then it was a lost season. Like the divisional round was when they really started paying attention. They watched regular season. Great, but divisional round was when they started, and their expectation every year was the AFC Championship game, at least.
Like as Bulls fans, we felt that in the 90s. Like we didn't care that the world hated us. It
You're
was like
arrogant about it too, boy. We were arrogant as a mother hubber.
See you the Eastern Conference Finals if you're lucky
See
enough
him
to
on
get there.
Memorial Day. That's when the playoffs. Yeah, Memorial
Right, Memorial Day, exactly.
I
That's
don't
when
know
the
the
season
conference
began.
finals, playoffs, the final start. We'll see you then. Yeah, it was. Hey, Glynn, great stuff, Papa. I appreciate it. Do me a huge favor. Let everybody know before you go. Let everyone where they can find you and your work online.
Hey, like I always say, man, here, when I'm fortunate enough for you to have me and invite me on, again, much appreciation for that. Other platforms out there in YouTube land, as well as Easy Smoking the GM podcast. You can catch me there, and I might have something in the works coming down the line. We'll see, but I'll get back to you on that one.
Cool, sounds good, bro. Hey, you have a great day, and then we gotta catch a Sox game. I was with Emilio, the guy before you, and
let's do it.
It was a great time. I'll let you know. And great time.
Yeah, first round's on me, and I've got a couple of Melton brats that I can hook you up with.
That's good, Papa. Excellent. Thanks, buddy. We'll talk soon.
All right, man. Have a great one. Peace out.
All right, guys. That's Glynn Morgan, Bears draft analyst. Great stuff talking Bears with your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Guys, 2 hours has come and gone, and man, I am fired up. Listen, King Book World, you're a fool. Roaches don't even want to be in Cleveland. You're a fool. Listen, guys, you have a phenomenal day. It's going to be beautiful here in the Chi, 80-plus degrees today. I know you heard the landscapers out there doing their thing. Listen, do me a favor. Let your loved ones know you love them, all right? Because tomorrow is promised to no one. Reach out, set some plans, dinner, brunch, lunch, breakfast, happy hour, whatever. Do that. I'm telling you, you and your people will both be happy. I'm going to replay this tonight at 6 p.m., and I will see you guys on Friday. Happy Hump Day. All right, so everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Your boy is out.
Get ready for the job and answer the clock.